You've got it bad when you have a plan. You love it, but it don't love you back. Oh, shit. All right, listen. Today we're going to take a tour of this outdoor greenhouse. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that it does not look that good, but it works for me. Therefore, I'm going to show you everything inside. But before that, all right, listen, do not bleed me for that corny intro. I was just upstairs watching Usher on Tiny Desk concert. And yeah, I was just in the mood. Do you all remember the video where I was growing plants over rocks? Well, the title of the video on my channel is called New Trend for Aroids. And my whole idea was I wanted to display my established aroids in a way to where, you know, I took a couple of crawling philodendrons and I wanted to grow them over rocks and see if they will attach. And then, you know, my whole idea was I wanted the main root system to be below the soil. And then above the soil, I wanted the plant to attach to a rock. And then when it comes to the Antherium, I wanted the adventitious roots to attach to the rock. I felt like it would be a good display. Well, that video drew a good amount of interest, so I want to give you all an update on that whole situation. So what had happened was they are doing great. I am so excited because that was a good idea for me to try. And let me show you right now. Okay, so first we have this Philodendron Ervium. It is doing well. This is the new leaf that it put out. It hasn't all the way unfurled yet. And check this out. The stem is putting out these aerial roots and they're attaching to this dragon stone right here. That is so exciting and so cool to watch. And you know, it just gives me more interest into watching these aroids grow, you know? And this is, you know, it's fairly easy care because this is kind of like a drought tolerant philodendron. As you can see, this thick stem right here, it holds a lot of water. So I don't water this one often, but I would say a couple times out of the week, I do spray this stone just because I saw those aerial roots start to come out. But damn, look at it. It's just attaching to the stone like just how I imagined. So that's like really exciting. And I'm just glad that I decided to try this because this crawling philodendron right here is just doing well with it. So if you don't know about the Ervium, it's kind of like the Philodendron Fat Boy, but I think the Philodendron Fat Boy is more of a rosette pattern when it comes to the growth. This one actually crawls and it could climb a little bit, obviously. But you know, this stem just started to recognize the support of this stone and it put out aerial roots. And that's so dope, so dope. So that's the Philodendron Ervium. Let me know how y'all like it. Second, we have this Philodendron Claumanii. So this one had a little bit of trouble at first because this was a cutting and the root system wasn't established enough for this type of setup. So what happened was the first 3 or 4 days, the leaves were kind of wilting. And then all of a sudden, it just started to perk right back up. So like I said, this is a top cut. And as soon as that new growth point comes out, hopefully it comes towards this rock so it can attach and grow over just like the Ervium did. But I feel like so far it looks really good. And I feel like, you know, right now, the plant is just probably establishing roots in this larger size pot. I don't recommend putting a cutting that doesn't have a big root system in a pot this big, but I was just so overzealous to try this that that's just what I did. And it came out okay. So I definitely like this whole setup and I'm just excited and waiting to see, you know, what this plant is gonna do. So, you know, you gotta try different things to keep up the interest of some of these aroids. I feel like this one is gonna look really good if it does what I think it's gonna do. So that's the Philodendron Claumanii. So this last one, I feel like it looks the best. This is an Antherium crystallinum crosswick magnificum. Check out that display. So this right here, I was excited about because this, this whole display is giving me botanical garden vibes. This did well, like immediately. This plant already had like a very good root system on it. So I feel like the roots are doing just fine beneath here. And, the adventitious roots from this stump just started to go in between these rocks down into the soil. And then that's when it put out this new leaf. So it is doing just fine. And I'm just so excited about this whole setup. And I'm going to do a couple of my other plants. But like I said, I want to wait till I get multiples of that plant, and then I'll try this whole setup. But hey, I'll tell you, it looks so good just sitting in the plant room with this whole display. It just, it just elevates my visuals. So yeah, that is the Antherium crystal mag growing over rocks. So these rocks, these are like some type of mountain stone that I got from the pet store in the aquarium section. I already know that they're not alkaline, so they won't, mess with the pH of the soil. And a good way to test that is to pour in the sink, pour some vinegar over the rock. If it starts to fizz up, then it's alkaline. If it doesn't, then it should be okay for your plant, But if you do test it and put that vinegar on there, make sure you wash it real good before you display it in here. All right, let me try to quickly tell y'all how, why, and where. So when I was moving to this new house from the old house, bringing the plants over, they were starting to decline. So I went on Amazon to look for a greenhouse. So it was on sale as a used item for $30. So I hurried up and I bought it. These cheap greenhouses are not very sturdy. So if you have high winds, it'll blow right over. So I was thoughtful enough to strategically place this one in a corner. So that wall right there is a west wall, and the wall behind it is facing south. So if you put these into a corner, the wind cannot really blow them over because it's like, protected from two different sides, and that above ground planter kind of has it tucked in also. A wall facing west and a wall facing south, this greenhouse will not get extreme sunlight. It will get top down sunlight, and I'm also able to, provide a little bit of shade inside of the greenhouse with some plastic. So why? The benefits of this greenhouse is, I put rehab plants in here. Plants that I don't want inside of the house anymore, I put in there. And, plants that I want to experiment to see, how well they do in a greenhouse condition, I put in here also. This greenhouse gets, up to 90% humidity. The airflow is pretty good. And, just being outdoors, the good bacteria that happens outdoors is very beneficial to the plants. The natural levels of carbon and all of that. And then the temperature drop at night, it just promotes growth for these plants. Let's go inside. Okay, so we at about 80 degrees, 97% humidity because I just missed the greenhouse down about 10 minutes ago. So first up, we have this Hoya compacta that I put in here. It's put out a lot of new growth since I've gotten it. This one comes in and out of the greenhouse. Sometimes I'll sit it on the table outside, and then other times I'll place it in here. Next we have Antherium Photorefolium. This one is huge, and this is the new leaf that's still expanding right now. This is a very easy Antherium right here. Next up, we have this nice little Florida Ghost propagation. I think y'all seen enough of the mother plant that I have indoors. This is a propagation from that plant quite a while ago. Look, I put it on a bamboo stake, and this high humidity has this plant connecting to this bamboo stake because it's solid. I always say solid surface, the plant will climb and it will trigger it into maturity. It had these juvenile leaves. As soon as it attached to this little bamboo stake, this is now what we getting. It's sizing up quickly. This right here, this was like a thripped out pedatum, so I just stuck it out here and it went crazy. It was a baby plant and it's just matured. Check out what these aerial roots are sitting up here doing. They just wrapping all around this bamboo stake. That is crazy. So the plant is sizing up, but I think I need to put this on like a real pole because it obviously wants to climb. Okay, so if y'all don't already know, the Florida Ghost is a hybrid. The Philodendron pedatum crossed with the Philodendron squamiferarum, that creates the Florida Ghost. And I think that the trait that makes this plant a prolific climber definitely comes from the pedatum because those aerial roots are crazy. They came from all the way up here, went down this pole into the pot. All right, so moving on. I think this is like a golden dragon propagation. I just gotta get at some time and see what it do. This one is a hybrid also. This is Philodendron esmeraldense crossed with Patriciae. I recently propagated this one and I put this mother plant out here just because I have the two cuttings indoors. And it looks like we have a couple of growth points since I put it inside of this greenhouse. Wow, I'm just now seeing that, so that's surprising for me. All right, next we have a top cut to a red emerald. The leaves are looking a little scanless. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's really big. As you can see my hand, it's like bigger than my hand. So I think that one's gonna be a beast. Let's move down a shelf. This is my Philodendron White Knight. So I had this one indoors, but I put it outdoors because it got attacked by thrips. You see that thrip damage? So I treated it a couple times and I just stuck it out here and it's starting to put out new growth. So I'm hoping that bounces back and goes crazy. I finally gave it a moss pole, and as you can see, it's putting out aerial roots to attach to the pole. This right here is a Claumanii. Look at it putting out a new leaf. So Claumanii propagation. I don't know what this is. I honestly do not know what this is, but it's growing something. Next we have this Philodendron Brazil, and I think it's some Philodendron neon in here too. I didn't want this plant anymore, so I stuck it out here. So I probably got to get out of the way because I don't even want it. I already have like a nice Brazil inside. Next to that, this right here, it's supposed to be a Philodendron Tripartito. But look how fat the leaf is since I put it out here. What is going on with this plant? This is this is actually the mother plant of the Tripartitum. I have a few Tripartitums all around the house. Wow, I didn't realize that this leaf was this wide. This plant ain't supposed to look like this. That's why I'm tripping, y'all. All right, so let me put that back. Okay, this is Mr. Trouble right here. This is a Philodendron Burl Marks Flame. Or, no, Burl Marks Fantasy, I believe. This plant is hard to grow for me, but ever since I put it in here, that's like one new leaf, and it looks like it's another on the way. So I feel like it's gonna do well in this greenhouse up until the winter time when I have to bring it indoors. So next after that, we have this Syngonium Pink Splash that I stuck out here maybe a month ago, and it's putting out a new leaf. This plant kind of gets on my nerves because the roots keep coming out the pot. So I mean, eventually I'll put this in something different, and that's probably part of the reason why I brought it out here, because I'm tired of these roots coming out the bottom of this pot and it doesn't fill up. Look at all that space that the roots could have been in, but it wants to go straight down. Oh, this is funny right here. So this right here is a Syngonium Mojito in leca. I don't even really put water in here. It's just the high humidity is enough for it to grow in this leca. I don't even put like a water reservoir. And it's growing. It's chlorotic, but it's growing. I'm gonna leave it there. I give that plant no special attention. All right, this ain't much to see here. This is a pink princess, and this is a mother plant that I've propagated from quite a few times. And as you can see, it has 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 growth points on it, so it'll bounce back. This is my Antherium chocolate. It definitely bounced back since I put it out here because it was not growing indoors. So I like how that's looking out here. I think I'm gonna leave this out here all year round. So, sitting on the floor, this is an Equigenera Phil. I recently got this Philodendron Bonafide from Equigenera, and it's not acclimating well. So I got tired of looking at it, so I threw it out here. And I got a feeling that it'll bounce back because it ain't like it's totally dead. So this plant normally, it looks like a green version of the Philodendron bicolor, and that's the reason why I got it. So we'll just leave that there and let it come back to life when it's ready. Okay, so this one is a potted up Syngonium Mojito. This one has like a very unique mojito pattern on it, and it's doing well out here. And like I said, I know Syngoniums will attach to like a bamboo stick. They're prolific climbers as well. All right, next to that, it's tight in here, so I'm sorry about these weird angles, y'all. This is a Philodendron Brazil, and you know, obviously this plant got on my nerves because it reverted. So hopefully is it a new leaf back there? Let me see. Yeah, there is another leaf. This leaf is not even looking good, so I'm gonna let that just do what it do. Okay, next to that, let me take this one out. We have a huge Syngonium Chiapence. It's like multiple shoots off of one stem. That's why it looks so full. Behind the Chiapence, we have this Ficus. I don't know the name of this Ficus, but I really like it. This one grows into a tree. When I go to Florida, I see a lot of these all over the place. But normally the veins get red and it grows into a big tree. So I just got this one chilling here. I almost killed it because I was trying to do a bonsai project with it and it started to die, but I canceled that, and now when I potted it up, it came back. And that right, I don't know what this is. Skip that. So in the center of the greenhouse, we have a big red emerald that I've propagated from. So big to get it all in the picture. That's the red emerald. This is a new growth point right here, and I think it has another growth point over there. Next to that is a Monstera Pentapartita, and it's already starting to fenestrate, so I need to give this one a pull soon because I feel like that's gonna be a nice specimen. It started to get chlorotic. I mean, the leaves look like this, but I felt like it was a little bit chlorotic, so I gave it some Epsom salt, and I think it'll be fine after it takes in that magnesium from the Epsom salt. Okay, below that is a pot of propagations. We have some Philodendron Gigas and some Varicosums. I think they rooted quickly. As soon as I propagated them and put it in here, I think after a week, they started to, you know, firm up. So I knew that they were rooted, and this shoot started to get tall. So it's some Varicosum and Gigas. Next to that, we have another Gigas. This was attacked by thrips, so I stuck it out here, and I think it's fine. It has some new growth. I'll cut that leaf off, and I'll give it a pull soon, and it'll be all right. Next to that is a Philodendron Burley marks that will not seem to get big. It's still growing, but it just won't size up. And on the floor, some more propagations. That's Tripartito. That's dead, but it's rooted in there, and some painted lady. And as you can see, it has new growth. So this big plant right here that's in my way, this is a Philodendron Delinksii. I propagated this plant and I stuck it out here, and look what these leaves are doing. These leaves are huge, and they're not even supposed to look like this. They're supposed to have like that Tesla symbol look with the lobes. This plant is in my way, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why I can't move it. Check out these aerial roots, and look how the aerial roots are going all the way outside of this greenhouse. And it's doing the same thing on the other side. The aerial roots have went all the way to the edge of this greenhouse. I don't know where they're gonna go. They probably gonna go into someone else's yard in a minute. But these aerial roots are going crazy beneath. But this is a really big plant, and it's on this wooden plank right here. I'm probably gonna rip them aerial roots because I need to move this plant. It's in the way. Down there, this is a Medrium. Medrium, I don't know the species, but it's a variegated Medrium, and it has some new growth back there. All right, moving on. Next to on the floor, we have a Philodendron Splendid. This is a mother plant. I have the top cut and some other propagations all over the place, actually. That is the mother plant back there. Next to that is another Equigenera Phil. This right here is supposed to be a Philodendron luxurians, but it never came back or acclimated well inside, so I brought it out here, and since then it grew like a little growth point over there. Hey, look at that roly-poly just chilling. I ain't even gonna bother it. I'm gonna let the little roly-poly do its thing, because those things are actually beneficial to the plants because they eat, you know, decaying material, and then when they poop, it's kind of like worm castings into the pot. All right, next to that, what used to be a problem child has now bounced back in this greenhouse. This is Antherium Kiera Malentz, aka the Kiera Sheared. Look how nice it looks out here. So let me give you a little bit of information on this plant. This plant likes temperature drops at night. It likes cold weather at night, and that is the reason why it wasn't doing well inside. But it's doing perfectly fine out here. I think it has a new little growth point right here. And yeah, this is an Antherium that I just might leave out here all year round because it likes the cold. Next to that, we have a little Dieffenbachia reflector. All right, moving on. This is supposed to be a Philodendron Tenu, but I think at my old house it caught pests and it's just now coming back. Next to that, we have another Philodendron Splendid, and it's actually looking splendid, looking really good. All right, we have a Philodendron Lemon Lime that I separated from my from a recent purchase. I have one indoors climbing a pole, and this one is just chilling out here. Looks pretty good. I think it's 2 of them in there. Next to that, we have the mother plant of the Amedrium with some wet sticks in there. Then next to that, we have another Syngonium Chiapence. Like the texture. This one is putting out bigger leaves than this one right here. There's another propagation putting out these huge leaves, and I think it's going to connect to this bamboo stick. Oh yeah, look at the growth point on there. And then over here we have that Philodendron Claumanii. Doing real good out here. Okay, moving up a shelf. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is the Lynxy Eye or Golden Dragon. This right here is a Bipennifolium. It hasn't shaped up yet. Okay, so I had this one inside of a pot of Ficus elastica, and I just brought it in here. All right, that's another propagation of Philodendron White Knight. It's doing really well out here. Okay, y'all, so I cut up my Philodendron Bilietier. I propagated it, and this is the mother plant that's left from that propagation. And it grew that new leaf inside of the greenhouse. It's been out here for, I would say, a month or so. So I'll put that back. These are some more Monstera Pentapartita cuttings right here. It's 2 of them. Doing well. We got new growth. They're starting to grow fast in here. This plant is always in my way. All right, so these are my crystallinum cutting. I think y'all saw a video where I propagated some of my crystallinums. Let's see. This one has perked up since the propagation, but it does not have a new leaf. Let's see. I don't even see roots, but it's looking pretty good, so I'll leave it in here. Let's see. This propagation grew a new leaf. That's the new leaf right there. So I'm sure this one will do well. Once it gets a couple leaf, I'll cut this one off because y'all know I don't like looking at damaged Antherium leaves. So this big Antherium right here is the, what is this called? Hold on. I believe this is the Antherium, what is it called? I'll put the name of it on the screen because I can't think right now. But it went crazy out here. This is the newest leaf right here. And it put out a lot of shape and size with this new leaf. So I think I'm gonna leave this one out all year round so it can, you know, get tree sized. And that is supposed to be the mother plant of the crystallina, but it never grew a leaf, so that might be a loss. All right, so this is the last row that I have in this greenhouse. This right here is my only peperomia that I have left. This is a Peperonia obtusifolia. So it's a nice marble variegated peperomia, and it's the easiest peperomia that I've ever grown. Indoors, this was doing fine, and in this greenhouse, it's doing fine also. Look at the variegation on this. Oh, that's a flower. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, this one is doing well, and look how it's coming out the pot, and it's just sizing up like crazy. So this may be the only peperomia that I like other than the maculosa. I need to try the maculosa. So this is the mother plant of a painted lady. I'm not sure if it's getting too much water or too much sun, but it's starting to turn yellow. But this is the new growth on them. And I'm gonna just let it do what it do. This is the mother plant of the Gigas. I just put this one out here because it was not growing indoors. So I'll leave that there. Check out the Syngonium 3 Kings. I'm so proud of these because they do so well out here. Let me see if I can get a shady spot so you can really catch the colors of these. I do like this Syngonium better than the Albo. You know, I'm not a big fan of white variegation, but this one right here, I like it. And this is like a smaller one that I propagated. Yeah, this one is like, it's almost like a painting to where it's almost close to like a calathea pattern, you know? All right, so for my last video, this is the Philodendron 69686. The new leaf emerged, and I feel like it's gonna root into this Amazon little moss pole situation very easily. Behind that is a Melanochrysum that I do not really care about because I already got a big one inside. So I'm gonna just let that one thug it out right there. And then the last plant is a Philodendron Adibapoense that I put out here because I wanted to size up. So it's been out here for a week and put out this new leaf. So I feel like it'll size up if I keep it out here. Okay, so that is it. I had the door open. You see the humidity drop down to 51. So by the way, during the springtime, the sun got too intense. So I put these trash bags up here as, you know, to provide some shade to this greenhouse. It doesn't look good, but it did the trick for the time being. I need to stop playing and just get some shade cloth. But yeah, there you have it. This was a tour of my greenhouse. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Dave, and this is Aroid District. I'm out.